This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition. Alright, I am pulling drawers out of this unit right now because we have an early morning start and we've got 2 new evaporator coils for this guy. So, if anybody caught that, have 2 temperature controllers. They actually were back ordered on one without a temp control, so we're gonna have to take this out of one of them and make it work because this system only runs with 1 control. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're going to get all these drawers pulled out, get the drawer boxes pulled out, recover the gas, and get going on this. It's nice and yummy in here today. But we got the covers pulled off. I'm gonna have to take all the wiring. I'm just gonna undo the wiring and use all this wiring for the new coil. That way I don't have to worry about cutting wires because the coil that I'm putting here has the temp control and all that, and so it's wired to be a master coil basically. We're currently recovering the gas out of the unit and we're gonna get started here in just a minute. All right, well, we got the coils cut out, but check this out. This guy is pouring oil out. This whole coil, that's probably why this guy wasn't working. I thought it was a bad TXV. It's probably just flooded with oil. Now, long story, but the cold rail up top used to be controlled from a compressor on the roof that went bad. And my theory is that it logged oil in the cold rail. And because the customer's replacing this box, what we did was we connected it to the condensing unit, which it originally was. Long story as to why we cut it out. And I'm thinking that the cold rail dumped all the oil in here, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that compressor, but we're gonna have to, we'll clean everything up and cut it, and then we'll have to blast this guy with nitrogen to try to get any oil out of it. Okay.
You want to do one side or the other?
Yeah, one side at a time.
Do liquid first.
Liquid first? Okay. Go for it. Just give it a blast and then stop. Nothing. Go ahead.
I haven't opened it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Just let it go. Okay, nothing. Go ahead and do the suction. Oh! Oh, shit. Almost got me. Almost got me. Whoa. That's nasty. Okay, let me get in there. That's gross. Kind of a problem. Delfield's notorious for their connections they make. They all came apart, so we had to do some identifying. So we've got a blue piece of tape on that wire. That's coming over to this side. So that's the switched leg for this coil, because this is the master. It has a temp control. Coming out of the temp control goes to the solenoid for this coil, and then it comes over on that blue taped wire for this solenoid. And then the reds are hot all the time for the fan motors. All right, so this is typically how we do these when you can't access the back of the box, is we just cut them, swage the new coil, and then slide them on and braze them. So I've got a wet towel protecting the wires. I'm gonna get that brazed up. And then Will's over here working on this one right now.
Looks good right there. Looks good right there.
It's kind of a pain, but got it. Those good pins right now. Okie dokie, we got a new Sporlan Cap T catch-all filter dryer. We're running a vacuum on this guy right now. We turned on power. Coils are all assembled. They're working correctly. Both solenoids are turning on and off via the temp control, which is what we want. They have the wire running back behind. Got the guards cleaned up as best as possible. And we're gonna start assembling this box and go from there. Hopefully that oil didn't cause any more damage. I don't know if it's stuck anywhere else, who knows? There's not much I can do about it, you know? I told them to change this box. I mean, this thing's so bad. When I come back here and I push, it seeps water right here. Like the whole box is flooded underneath. So whenever I push on it, water seeps out of it. Drawer boxes are all broken. I didn't want to change these coils, but it had a bad, well, I thought it had a bad power head, but it was actually saturated or logged with oil. And I'm glad that I trusted my gut and didn't try to change the power head, because I went through all the changing the power head to find out it didn't work. You know, always trust your gut. With these reach-in coils, if they're corroded, change the coil, don't play games. All right, evacuation's done. System is running at the moment. It's actually 404. All right, not looking bad. 21 degree evaporator, 102 saturation on the condenser. It's about 70-ish degrees in here right now. Return air's 51. One coil's 37, one coil's 40, the discharge air. We'll give it some time, make sure that we're working. We are looking really good. So I shut off the top section just so we can see it run with just the bottom. Temperatures, 26, 28 is discharge for both coils, and return air is at 40. I mean, it's looking really good. So you see these old coils, like look at the copper's completely pitted out all inside. That's why you gotta like look at this stuff before you jump into repairs, because trying to change a power head or maybe even sweat on the new TXV onto that copper would be a problem. So always, you know, look at the big picture and trust your gut. All right, we are just turned back on and it's coming down to temp. So it came up to 34, or it came down to 34, shut off. Temp came up to 41, then it turned back on, so it's ranging like it's supposed to be. So they're going to notice a huge difference now. So we are good to go. We're going to give them the keys and tell them to keep an eye on it. Like I said, they're still replacing this box, but this will get them some more time. I came through a rainstorm to get here, and look at my window. Everything is covered in sand. We just having a big sandstorm out here today. It's crazy. All right, now, you know, I didn't get footage the first time I went out, but initially what happened was I got a service call and the reach-in not working. When I got there, the whole unit was down, and what I found was in the master coil there was a bad temperature controller. So I changed the temperature controller, then the system started running. But I noticed that on the left side evaporator coil, which is the slave coil, that coil basically wasn't giving me a good TD. It had like a 2-degree differential from supply to return. The other side had like a 8-9 degree differential or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know that the left side had something. So my theory was that the power head on the TXV was in the process of completely failing. It wasn't completely shut down, but it was just barely letting refrigerant by. But I looked at the coils and I was like, these coils are completely disintegrated. They're rotted out. I'm not going to try to twist off a power head because I'm going to cause a refrigerant leak. The system didn't seem to be low on refrigerant at the time, okay? So this particular customer had already ordered a new refrigerator, but it's been taking a while for them to build it because it's like a custom unit, and they're not going to have it, I guess, anytime soon. I have no idea. They bought it. Whatever. I don't have anything to do with them ordering the refrigerators. So in the meantime, they were like, they need a solution. So I told them, I was like, we need to change the evaporator coils. I hate to do that because it was a lot of money, but I'm like, I'm not going to go in there and try to change that valve, try to change the power head, because I'm going to cause a bigger problem. Mind you, the top section was working 100%, and that's the spot they use the most. So, you know, the idea of them replacing the box, some people may say, well, then why didn't you just try to change the power head? If it died, it died. They were still using the top section. The top section was still functioning 100% capacity. It was just the left side of the bottom, you know, kind of giving them issues and stuff. And actually, it was the whole bottom, but then the left side became the real problem after I changed the temp control. So in that situation, I went to the customer and I just said, look, the only way I'm going to do anything to this box is if you let me change both of the evaporator coils because they're both completely rotted out. And then I got that surprise when I cut the coil out. I'm like, oh, it was full of oil. Then it kind of came back to me what I think happened. So in the past, this particular restaurant, it gets really, really hot. It's in the Southern California desert. It gets to 120 degrees out there. And their kitchen runs 85, 90 degrees in the summertime. Okay, it's just a horrible design. They used to have really big cooking appliances in there that put off a lot of heat. The exhaust system was never designed for that much heat. It just had a hard time. This equipment always struggled. So a long time ago, over 10 years ago, we separated the top section from the bottom because the top used to be a problem all the time. And we remoted the condenser for the top section up to the refrigeration rack on the roof, okay? And it ran that way for years until, I don't know, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that, they lost a compressor. The compressor grounded out, more than likely because the oil got stuck downstairs, okay? But the compressor grounded out, and the solution, they had already ordered a new box at that time. So I was like, well, instead of selling you guys a whole new compressor condenser unit up on the roof, why don't you just let me put them back together, just get you going temporarily. I was trying to do them a favor. So I reconnected the cold rail to the condensing unit downstairs, so that way it's a completely self-contained unit again. Okay. And then obviously they started having problems with the bottom section. So what I think happened was when we reconnected it, there must have been oil in the cold rail section, and it logged inside the bottom evaporators, and it caused our current problem, okay? So they still got issues, right? I don't doubt that there's still oil in the, who knows? Maybe the compressor that's running right now has too much oil in it. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, but for now, we got them 2 new coils. The system's operating. The customer's happy, and supposedly they're going to be getting a new box, but I don't know when. I have no idea. Sometimes when we're working in this stuff, you got to come up with solutions. And I can't stress it enough. Trust your gut, okay? When I say trust your gut, there has to be experience behind those educated guesses and, that you're going to make that make you think like, hey, in this situation, I know that evaporator coil is going to be a problem if I tried to change that TXV or tried to unscrew the power head. More than likely, we could have gotten away with the power head, but I was just too fragile. Everything in there was just too messed up, and I wasn't going to play those games, okay? So we changed those, and sure enough, something happened. Now, I thought it was going to be refrigerant leaks, but no, it was tons of oil, okay? So that's a problem. And oil-logged coils are really, really difficult to diagnose. They really are, okay? This one, that didn't even cross my mind, but it kind of makes sense in hindsight, looking back at it. But how, I wouldn't have even thought it would have been oil-logged, right? But it makes sense now that in hindsight you start thinking about it and everything. So regardless, we got the customer operational. It's now been probably 3 weeks since I did this repair. They're still happy. Everything's still working great. We've been out there doing other repairs on other equipment. They still haven't gotten a new unit, but hey, it is what it is. We do the best that we can with the tools and the equipment that we have. I really appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. Thank you so very much. Lots of great new footage coming up. Spoiler alert. I did the install on my home system. My home system is up and running, operational. Guys, I have to tell you something. Just tiny spoiler alert. My new system is slightly oversized, guys. My 2-ton system that I installed in my house, just ever so slightly oversized. I came home today. It's 99 degrees outside, and I have my system set at 76 degrees, and it was satisfied. That's not a good sign. I mean, it should be running all the time, right? Because we sized it. So, I mean, when I say it's oversized, that's kind of a joke. It's perfect, right? But we technically could have gotten away because it shouldn't be shutting off at design temperature, at 76 degrees set point in my house. It should be running, right? So this just kind of blows my mind, going from an oversized 4-ton, doing a load on the house. And this also just shows you that, load calculation software does have fudge factor in it, right? So that's kind of crazy. So don't tell anybody. Wait for the full release video. Only a few of you are going to be watching to the end of this video anyways. So stay tuned. We got all kinds of footage that I'll be releasing in the next couple weeks on my house install and how fun that was. It was oh my gosh, it was insane. But I'm going off and rambling. You guys got the bonus footage. Again, keep it to yourselves and let everybody else wait until they see the full video and everything. I really do appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a couple ways, but the easiest way is simply watch the videos from beginning to end. That really is, okay? Next, you can support the channel via TrueTechTools.com. You go to TrueTechTools.com, you want to purchase some tools, you can use my offer code BIGPICTURE, one word. When you use that offer code, you get an 8% discount on almost all the items on their website. There's a few things it doesn't apply to, but almost all the items, you get an 8% discount when you use my offer code, and I get a small commission from that. So that's a cool way to support the channel. Then there's PayPal, Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of this video. You can go to my website, HVACRvideos.com. We have merchandise available, beanies, sweaters, hats, t-shirts, all that good stuff. We have women's fit t-shirts. Lots of stuff on the website. Again, HVACRvideos.com. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you, and we will catch you on the next one.